Once more, the One-Up Superstar Series descends on the hallowed ground of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for race number 14 of the 2022 season for the second annual Brickyard 400 on the big speedway here at IMS. This 2.5-mile oval has produced some historic moments over the course of its lifetime, and I'm sure we're going to get another one here this afternoon. Alongside me in the booth today for today's race is Indiana's own James Ellison for today's race, and you've run both the support series races this weekend, one at the big track itself. What is it about Indianapolis that truly makes it one of the greatest spectacles in racing?
Well, personal bias of it being my home track aside, it's just such an important venue. It's the history. You got big names out there that have won races at the track, and One Up, it's no different. You look at all the different people looking to get their name etched in the history books for this, not just this track, but for this sport. It's a crown jewel for the whole series.
Absolutely. It's our third crown jewel race of the season. Will Marc Davey become the only driver to win a crown jewel this season? He's won the first two already, but he's got a bit of ground to make up if he's going to do it here today. As we look at the starting lineup now for today's Brickyard 400, and it's got a familiar look to last year, as for the second consecutive year, Andres Molina has scored pole for the Brickyard 400, with his second different organization. It's mighty impressive for the driver of the number 7. Can he become the first driver to win for Dodge in the modern era? We'll find out shortly, but there are a lot of big names starting behind him that are looking to get to score a big win. In fact, you have the rest of the top 5, Diego Yepez, Devin, Jake Uhalic, and Sam Donotto, all looking for their first career wins in the Superstar Series. Could any of those guys get it done here today? We saw Jake McMillen snap a long winless streak last time out in Portland. Could we see someone get their first win here today?
Yeah, well, it's hard to say. It would certainly be big to get your first career win on such hallowed ground, but there's a lot of people out there who know how to win races and have at least one previous win that want to add to their trophy case, and it's going to be hard pressed for these people who've never won before to try to get past them.
We saw Andres Molina get his first career win in the Brickyard 400 last year. Can someone else do it today, or will Molina go back-to-back? We're about to find out as the drivers are lined up on the grid, and we're ready to bring you 60 laps from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is the One-Up Superstar Series, the Brickyard 400, our third crown jewel of the season, race number 14, and it's coming at you live shortly. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss a second of what's to come. As the field rolls onto the long front straightaway here at Indianapolis, Andres Molina and Diego Yepez, both in powerful Dodges, are going to lead us to the green flag, and the second annual Brickyard 400 is underway. Even Stevens as they cross the yard of bricks, but Yepez has the slight advantage going into turn 1. Molina should have the advantage on the inside line, though, as they exit turn 1 and head onto the short chute going for turn 2.
Yeah, you can see right there, like I said, Molina, he's right there, clears Yepez. And Yepez finds himself once again chasing down the leader for the second week in a row in the first lap, or maybe not, as he goes to the inside. The old crossover move.
Trying to do what he could not do at Portland last time, and that was lead this race. Diego Yepez under a car he owns in Andres Molina in the 7 car. Yepez powers past in the 77. To try and take the lead of this race, he's going to try and bring Sam Donotto with him in the 00. They head off turn 4 down the front straightaway once more, and Diego Yepez will lead lap number 1 of the Brickyard 400. And he's clear for the lead.
And we see it back there, 51, Devin Fair, he lost the spot and looks like he's about to lose another one if Davey has anything to say about, that's Ortiz, sorry about that.
Yeah, Marc Davey is making a move, though. He's up into the top 10 already. He started back in 13th, so good charge from the 01 early. But so far, it's Yepez who's growing his lead further and further out in front, as Molina now starts to fall a little ways off the leader, and Donotto falls a little ways off of Molina. So we're starting to get spread out just a little bit here at the Brickyard, and now we can see Yepez powering down the front straightaway leads. It's a second consecutive lap, but these aren't the laps he really wants to lead. He wants to lead at the end of lap 60 when they pay out the points and the big check at the end.
Yeah, that's certainly what I want. And we were talking about it, how big this would be for someone who's never won to win here. And we're looking at someone right now in the lead who's hungry for that first win.
Absolutely, and as you can see, Devin Fair make a move underneath Sam Donotto for third. He's going to try and bring Nick Ortiz and Cale Tescar Jr. with him. And Fair now moves back up into third place, followed by Ortiz and Tescar Jr. They're putting Donotto up on the high side. You can get freight trained up there in the length between the two corners, but Donotto looks like he's going to hold on to fourth for the time being, unless Ortiz can get a run on him right here. Whoa, that was close. But yeah, Ortiz made a move, but I don't know if it's going to stick because Donotto's cleared him for fourth.
No, it's not going to stick. They're not going to stick. They're straightening out back here. You see JQ Halleck and Tescar Jr. fighting for position. And you got a few others you see back there who are trying to see whether or not they needed a chance, take a chance to capitalize this. This Halleck almost bumped into Tescar there.
JQ Halleck, another one of those guys looking for their first career win in the sport car, and how close have they come this season so many times. If they were to get their first win here at the Brickyard, that would be very poetic justice for this 4 team, especially after the turmoil that Revolution Racing has gone through recently. But here comes Halleck underneath Tescar Jr. for 6th spot, and I think Halleck's going to get the advantage going through turn 2.
Yep, and clear as Tescar's now under fire from the 92, a Jeffrey Finn guy in that nice blue paint job there.
Yeah, Finn Guy has a 100% winning record with that paint scheme. He won at Road America, the only other time he raced that auto owner's insurance scheme, and he's looking to charge to the front of the field to make it continue that perfect record. As now Devin Fair and Sam Donotto resume their battle for the 3rd position, and Nick Ortiz starting to join the party as well.
Yeah, Ortiz looking inside Donotto. Honestly thought for a second there Fair and Donotto were just going to go for it, but it just didn't stick for that 0-0. As we see Yepez, he hasn't. This is kind of like what happened last weekend. He's with him chasing down the leader. As the leader, he's not really pulling away from the 7 much.
Yeah, Molina's keeping him honest. This is good for Yepez, though. That is a team he owns in Monster Motorsports. So if there's anyone he'd like to see in that rearview mirror, it's got to be that 7 car. But he's got to keep in mind, Andres Molina would love nothing more than to win the Brickyard 400 2 years in a row. And he's only 1 position away from doing that. As we come to the end of lap 6, Yepez's lead over Molina. Now, wow, it's actually gone down to about 0.3 of a second now. As they dive off from the turn 1 once again. 2 Dodges lead the Toyotas of Fair and Donotto. The first Ford, Nick Ortiz in 5th.
Yeah, it's looking like a Dodge's day so far, but still early on. We're only 6.5 laps in, and it's really nice to see this nice mixture of manufacturers in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, the only one missing is the Chevrolet group, and I'm sure they'll find their way to the front sooner rather than later. But right now, it's 2 Dodges out in front. Diego Yepez in front of Andres Molina, and Yepez is actually starting to pull away a little bit now from the 7 of Molina. Diego Yepez, of course, looking for that first career win and his second full season in the series, and his first with Genesis Engineering. He's currently in a playoff position, so if he can win this race here today, he'll be in a very good position once the postseason starts later this year.
Yeah, that's going to be big if he can do that. He's still got a long way to go here, and I can imagine that if he's in the lead in the final laps, these straightaways, front and back straightaways, are going to be agonizingly longer than they really are in his perspective.
Absolutely, as now JQ Halleck gets freight trained on the top by Sam Donotto, Jeffrey Finguy, and Cale Tescar Jr. Marc Davey thought about it as well, but he's going to tuck in behind the 4 for the time being. Look at this pack of cars barreling down the front straightaway from 5th on back. These guys are all hungry to gain some track position here, and right now Donotto's leading the train, but everybody's looking to hop on board as we process lap number 9 here at IMS.
And we just see it right there. Jared Polanski, he just took the 10th spot away from Emma Carter there in the 70, and he's starting to make some moves. And I also see, looks like, is that McMillen back there?
That is Mcdonald in the 12.
Oh.
That is the first Chevrolet in the race, and he has now made his way into the top 10. So now we've got a Chevrolet in the mix as well. Ben McDonald started this race in 18th. He's already made his way up into the top 10 by the end of lap 10. So excellent run by this 12 group. Hope maybe we'll see them make charges through the rest of this race. We'll never know. But here he comes. Oh, and Cale Tescar Jr. almost pinched him onto the flat of the racetrack. That's not somewhere you want to be, especially. But it looks like McDonald's just going to follow Marc Davey past JQ Halleck, and this is going to be a real easy pass.
Yeah, I kind of, the 21 and the 12 kind of look similar from the front. So, yeah, but McMillen, he's back there. So we may still see him come up here yet and see if he can't go back-to-back. But yeah, Halleck and Tescar, they lost some spots, and now they're fighting each other.
And now Miles Mashburn has joined the party in the 72. He started back in 21st. Now he's knocking on the door of the top 10 in the 72 car. He was fastest in practice earlier this week, so Mashburn's got a fast piece under him as well. We'll see what he can do in his charge at the front. He just took the 10th spot from JQ Halleck, so a great run for the 72 group. And they really need a good run in the 72 group. But you can see Ben McDonald, he's already cleared Marc Davey for 7th. And that's 11 positions gained for that 12 car since the start of this race. That is impressive. But back up front, Diego Yepez has extended his lead over Andres Molina to 1.2 seconds here in Indianapolis. Off of turn 4 to complete lap number 11. Yepez's lead looks pretty secure right now.
Yeah, he's got a pretty stout Dodge under him right now, and he's just cruising, which is exactly what happened last week with McMillen. Even though Yepez was able to keep close there, he's got to be thinking, what do I got to do to keep this going all race long? And as long as he's not overthinking it, he should be fine.
And remember, we have a set of pit stops to make about halfway through this race, so Yepez has got to make sure everything is perfect down there as well if he's going to have hope of winning his first career Superstar Series race here at the Brickyard 400. As they come off turn 4 to complete lap number 12 of this race, we're closing in on a 1/4 distance. We're about 3 laps away from that, as it looks like Fair and Ortiz have started to reel in Andres Molina just a little bit. They're starting to get into a battle for second.
Yeah, this is not what Yepez will want to see, is the 7 getting passed by people who could easily catch up to him as the run goes on. He's not going to be liking that one bit if he sees that 51 and the 91 get up there and try to challenge him.
No, he will not, but Andres Molina has got a pretty solid number 7 underneath him, so he should be able to hang on pretty nicely. Only time will tell, though. We're closing in on the end of lap 13 now. These laps go by faster than you'd think, but also slower than you'd expect. It's a bit weird here at Indianapolis, but these guys continue to power on, and as we approach the end of lap 13, the gap at the top of the table is now down to 1.5 seconds. So these 3 are actually starting to reel in Yepez by a few tenths a lap.
Yep, it's right now the early run. It's something that Yepez has to enjoy, but when those pit stops come along, boy, could this shape up real quickly. And we still have the potential for caution because it's Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and there are times where there's nothing seriously crazy that happens, and other times it's just like, what do we got to do to get a green flag run in?
Absolutely. As we checked in on the fastest lap, Diego Yepez holds that by about 2 tenths over the next highest driver in that standing. So Yepez currently on pace for max points as things stand right now. A very solid run indeed for the driver of the 77. But we still got about 3/4 of this race left to run, and anything can still happen. So Yepez has got to be on his toes for the rest of this race, as Andres Molina is starting to close the gap, and he's pulled away from Fair and Ortiz. So now the gap's down to about 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like Molina might have found a little something here, or just his car's starting to dial in with this run going on. But we'll see. As man, that 12 car, I'm telling you, it's McDonald. He's just on a mission.
He's gained 12 spots since the start of this race. He's up to 6 after starting 18th, and he's just got around Sam Donato, so make that one more he's gained. He's already up in the top 5 with only a quarter of this race run. That 12 car could be Yepez's biggest challengers if this thing goes green for a while. Or even if we get a yellow and it bunches him back up for the restart. That'll bring McDonald even closer to these guys. So regardless of the situation, I think that 12 car is going to be a big challenger for the rest of this race. As the second, third, and fourth place cars all group up once again, Molina, Fair, and Ortiz, they're going to all try and draft together, try and chase down Diego Yepez on a little while.
Yeah, that could work, but I've been seeing Ortiz peek out a little bit, so not sure how much longer this is going to work if it does. And we see right there, Fair backs off a little bit. I don't know if that's just because Molina's moving on ahead or if that's just the way things are working out. And, okay, so the draft is kind of working, but at the same time, it's hard to tell unless we keep watching for the next few laps what's going to work.
So these three are running in single file formation, chasing down Diego Yepez. You can see him off in the distance there. So 77, the gap at the line last time by was 1.6 seconds. We'll see what it is at the line this time. As these guys start to get spread out a little bit, that's not really what you want as far as a draft situation, but Diego Yepez continues to lead the way. He's led for a quarter in this race. He's led every lap so far, all 17 of them. Gap at the line that time by, yeah, they lost time on that lap, so maybe not the right way to go for those three. They just need to figure out who among them is fastest and try and have them chase down Diego Yepez, because either way, it's going to take a big effort to try and close in on the 77, who hasn't put a foot wrong all race long.
Yeah, and looking through the lineup here, I can see it's really spreading out now from first to 42nd here. And I imagine that if this race continues to go green, Yepez might have a little bit of lap traffic, but we'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely. We're closing in on 1/3 distance here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway to Brickyard 400 for the 1-Up Superstar Series. Diego Yepez has led the entire way, but Andres Molina and Devin Fair are treating us to a little show here as they battle for second position. Of course, second place, Devin Fair's best ever result in the Superstar Series. He got that at Bristol earlier this year while driving his own Team Dayspring car. His only finish for Revolution Racing so far has been 6th at Portland last week. So he's trying to better that here this afternoon. And so far he's doing that, running 3rd right behind Molina and on pace to try and get around him here.
Yeah, if he could just get by Molina, he might be able to do something with Yepez with a few laps, with no hindrance from the 7th. But he can't get by right now. He can't even keep up with him.
Yeah, the Dodges are awful quick here at the IMS as Molina closed the gap down by a couple tenths that lap, down to 1.5 seconds. So it's like he's like a yo-yo for Molina. He seems to be able to close up a little bit on Yepez, but then he seems to drop back into the clutches of Fair and Ortiz. A bit of a limbo moment for Andres Molina. And honestly, compared to last year when he led all but 8 laps of this race, this is not what Molina is used to here at the Brickyard. So he's trying to get up to the front. It's just a lot more difficult this time around.
Yep, it's certainly gonna be a challenge, and we see here, it looks like Molina is starting to chip into Yepez's lead a little bit. So maybe Yepez's car is not so good in the long run, as we're now 1/3 of the way through this race.
Maybe Yepez is just conserving his stuff, waiting for the pit stops, which are coming in about 10 laps time. But Yepez continues to lead by 1.3 seconds over Andres Molina, a car he owns. And that's got to be a comforting sight for Yepez to see Molina holding off Fair and they've actually dropped Nick Ortiz for the time being. So now Molina's just got to hold off Devin Fair for a little while in that 51 as Yepez crosses the line to complete lap 21. This is actually the most laps Diego Yepez has ever led in a 1-Up Superstar Series race. So kudos to him for that, as the gap has pretty much stayed the same. It's about 1.2 seconds. But Molina is chipping away at it bit by bit. I'm not sure if he'll get there by the time the pit stops start, but either way, this is going to be very interesting to keep our eye on.
Absolutely, because that's just, like you said, he just wants to see that 7 stay right where it is and keep that 51 behind him. And pending any issues on pit stops, Diego can feel free to come get me for if I curse him, but he should be good to go if the pit stop cycle goes well for him.
Coming down the front straightaway to complete lap number 22, it's Yepez at the line, as it has been for every lap so far, and he gained a 10 on Molina that time, so maybe he's starting to pick it up a little bit now that he's seen the 7 chip into his lead a little bit. He's starting to build it back up again. It's a bit, like I said, it's a bit of a seesaw for Molina. He gains on Yepez, then loses time to him again. It's a very interesting situation for Molina here, but we're closing in on pit stops here. If we don't get a yellow flag, we should see them in about 8 laps or so. So that'll be a very important time for these guys. Who can execute on pit road? Who can get in and out first and fastest? That'll probably be who wins this race.
Yeah, that's the tricky part about some bigger racetracks. On one side, if you have a flat tire, you have a chance to get around pit road unless it's right after you pass pit road, and then you should lose a lap. On the other hand, green flag cycles also can be very interesting. So we'll just have to wait to see here as we get a good look at Tescar Jr., who's just stabilized at right around, I want to say, 9th place.
Yep, that's absolutely right. He's in a bit of a trade here with Sam Denoto, Miles Mashburn, and JQ Halleck, and a few others. But back up to the front, it is Diego Yepez holding a pretty solid wheel in the lead, but Molina is starting to close in a little bit. The gap 1.1 seconds last time by, and now at the line it's gone down to 0.8 of a second. So he chipped away a lot of time on that last lap. Molina is coming.
Wow.
The question is, how will Molina have anything left by the time the pit stops rolling?
It might be a little late here on this particular run, and Molina has lost Fair, so that is definitely what Yepez wants to see, except for the fact that he may not get this first win if his own car gets by him going into as we get to the checkered flag.
That certainly could be a situation that Yepez will have to address, but Molina doing everything he can to catch the 77 in his own number 7. It's all turning up 7s at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as we complete lap 25. The gap now back up to 1.1 seconds. Yepez reacted to what Molina was doing, and he pulled out another 0.3. So the lead is back to where it was earlier, and Yepez is just continuing to roll on his way. It's going to be very interesting to see what the pit stops hold, because we've seen them shape plenty of races in the past, even at this place.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun to watch because, well, depending on who you ask, because if things go right for both Yepez and Molina, this field may not have a hope unless there's a caution or one of them blows the motor. But I better shut up about that before I actually bring it to reality.
Something blowing motor. It's gonna happen at some point. We see that more often when Ryan Griffin is with us than when you're here. But regardless, how about getting back on track with the race itself? How about the run Ben Mcdonald's having in this 12 car? He's gotten around Nick Ortiz for 4th, and he's starting to chase down Devin Fair for 3rd as well. This 12 car started back in 18th, and he's flying through this field. He's up to 4th. It is only 0.8 off the 51 and 3rd, so like I said, that 12 car could be a big challenger as this race progresses.
It looks like he's certainly got an all around. It's not just short run, long run. It's all around. He's got a very stout machine there. So, like I said, he could be a threat to Yepez if things play out with the pit stops coming up, because there's no way he's going to catch him right now.
not at this point in time, as you see Molina's gotten the lead back down to under a second on Yepez, and McDonald's gained 2/10 on Devin Fair as well. We got battles all over this racetrack, and some that haven't started yet, some that are underway, and some that are just finished. But Diego Yepez has led all 27 laps of the Brickyard 400 so far, closing in on pit stops, which are about 4 or 5 laps away. And Yepez closing in on halfway. He could lock up the most laps led bonus if he can lead till lap 32. If he can do that, the bonus is his no matter what.
Yeah, he just really wants that point, but that's going to be all well and good in his mind. But that trophy and the checkered flag are really going to be even sweeter. So the pit strategy is going to have to really play out in his favor, and he's going to have to watch what he does as it goes on. No speeding penalties, and his crew's going to have to be punctual and get everything done exactly the way it needs to be done so that he can get in and get out and hopefully not lose the lead to anyone playing any strategy of their own.
Here comes Ben McDonald on Devin Fair for third, closing in on halfway. McDonald started 18th. This is the biggest mover of the race so far. He has gained 14 spots in this race, and he's about to get one more on Devin Fair right here. As he closes in on the 51, he pulls out to make a move on the 51, diving it off into turn 1. McDonald looks to have no trouble at all getting around the 51, and McDonald is up into the podium places as we close in on halfway.
Yeah, Fair's got to be thinking, wait, where'd he come from? I thought he started mid-pack. Because, well, there he is, and there he went.
Now McDonald's got to make up 2.5 seconds to get to these two. And notice how Molina's gotten the gap down to about 3/4 of a second. Molina is getting there, but I think it might be too late for this run. He needs to what he needs to do is do whatever the 77 does, so they're at least on pace with each other, on the same strategy, so they can go head-to-head at the end of this race. But that's halfway in the Brickyard 400. Yepez has led the first half, and we enter half number 2. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of interesting stories to talk about as the second half of this Crown Jewel event continues.
Yeah, this is certainly getting ready to be... Oh, and I can see Molina is really starting to close in here. It's looking like it could be an interesting battle unless he catches up to him just in time for one or both of them to pit. Well, we're going to have to wait and see.
Coming through 3 and 4, will they come in this time, or will they wait another lap or so? Will be interesting to see, as it looks like they are going to wait another lap. So, Yepez and Molina, the gap is gone now. He can see the Monster Energy logo in his rearview mirror, can Diego Yepez, as the gap now down to just 1/4 of a second. And McDonald has gained 1/2 a second on these guys as well. So the lead is starting to close up as we approach the pit window. This is going to be a real spicy battle once this is all said and done.
Yeah, Diego's got to be hearing that Jaws music as the 7th closes in on. It looks like he's lost a little bit now, but for a little bit there, I'm pretty sure Jaws was playing in his head.
As they round 3 and 4 once again, looks like Yepez and Molina going to be a wait-and-see game. Okay, now they're coming into the pits. You can see him go low on the racetrack. So Yepez and Molina are going to make their pit stops together. As I expected, Ben McDonald's going to stay on the racetrack, and he will take the lead in the Brickyard 400 for the first time all afternoon. So Yepez's run at the top ends for a moment, but he has locked up the most laps led bonus, so no one can take that from him now, and he'll get 2 bonus points for that. But when will McDonald pit? When will Devin Fair pit? When will Nick Ortiz and Marc Davey pit? A lot of questions still to be answered as this race continues.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if they're really going to wait a lap or if they're going to really go for the overcut here. But we'll just have to wait and see. And right now, I'm thinking McDonald's got to be enjoying the fact that he finally got a chance to lead a lap. As here he comes, and it's hard. Was Fair coming with him? Good question. Yep, there he is, and quite a few others.
Cale Tiscar Jr. staying out, though. He's going to take the lead of this race for an extra lap, get himself a bonus point for doing so, to try and preserve his points lead, which he has held for a very long time. But You see Jake McMillen has stayed out with him, Jared Polanski, J.Q. Halleck, and a few others. But I expect these guys are all going to come into the pits at some point in time. And when they do, it should cycle the lead back to Diego Yepez. But the question is, who's going to be behind him? Will it still be Molina, or will McDonald get a jump on him?
It's hard to tell. McDonald pitted a lap later than Yepez and Molina, so depending on which works better, the undercut worked somewhere in the middle or overcut as test car finally starting to come in. We will have to wait and see as this cycles out.
Although, look who's going to take the lead now. It's Aaron Hall making his Brickyard 400 debut in the 07 part-time entry for Carter Racing System. So, Hall takes the lead at the Brickyard 400 with Jeff Bolton staying out as well. Justin Hutchinson, Blair in the 19, Allison Rain in the 34. They all stay on the racetrack. I think they're going to be and Duke Anzac in the 83. I think they're going to be the last ones to stay out here. And I believe they're all going to come in on this lap.
Yeah, they've got to here soon because they got to be running close on fuel. If they don't pit now, they're really going to be pushing it.
Absolutely. So I think they are going to peel off this time. Aaron Hall makes the hard left onto the access road to get on the pit road, and Jeff Bolton will join him there. Austin Runkle's already pitted in the 71, making his Superstar Series debut. He's going to stay on the racetrack. There is Diego Yepez, and notably, Ben Mcdonald has gotten ahead of Andres Molina under the pit stop. So now, the McDonald Chevrolet has split up the two Dodges at the front. Now Yepez is going to have to deal with this 12 car for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that is not what Yepez wanted to see. He wanted to see that Monster Energy Dodge behind him, but now, depending on what pit stops did for McDonald, it could get interesting for him as we move closer and closer to the checkered flag.
Closing in on, we got 25 laps to go now from Indianapolis. As Diego Yepez reassumes the race lead, it shows Jeff Bolton as the race leader, but pit stops have still yet to cycle through all the way. Once they do, it'll be Yepez with about a second's lead over Ben McDonald, but that 12 is closing ground in a big hurry. So this could be a real battle for the lead soon, because these are the two best cars all day, and they might be going head-to-head in a few moments.
Yeah, I was thinking this might happen, but I wasn't sure until pit stops went through, and McDonald he's hungry, he's lurking, he wants to deny Yepez that first career victory. And so, but I know Diego's going to do everything he can to keep him back there.
Absolutely. Yepez still searching for that first career win. McDonald, of course, has two already. One at Phoenix 2 years ago and another one at Denver earlier this season. So McDonald is looking for his third win. Yepez looking for his first. And they're getting even closer and closer to each other. This is going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure, as we make our way through 3 and 4 here. Man, McDonald's getting close to Yepez as they power off of 4. Looks like McDonald sent it in a little too hot. He's got to back off for the moment.
Yeah, he really powered in there, and looks like he's going to have to gather it back up and try again. He lost time from that power move not exactly playing out, but don't count him out. That 12 car is strong.
And he's going to just gather it up and go back at it again. As Ben McDonald's got plenty of life left in those tires, and he's going to make every lap count. He's going to try and power his way down the back straightaway. He's in the draft of the 77, barreling off into turn 3 at ludicrous speeds, going off into turn 3. Will McDonald have the advantage here now that he's gathered it back up again? We'll see in a few moments. So coming off turn 4, it's so close between these guys. You can throw a blanket over the top two. They're close enough.
Yeah, it's just a matter of figuring out a spot, and he regained back what he lost and then some on that lap.
Yeah, McDonald just ran his fastest lap at a race right there, so he's gaining a lot of time on this 77. Will he make a move right here?
Oh, he's peeking. He's peeking. This is the most challenge that Yepez has had all race long, and there he goes to the inside, going into turn 3. Yepez has a bit of a drive off, so it's not going to pan out this time.
Coming through 3 and 4, McDonald gets underneath the 77 once again. They're going to be side by side coming off the final corner. Imagine if this was the white flag lap and a drag race to the finish line. Wouldn't that have been something? But Yepez holds the lead for the time being. McDonald right in his tire tracks. The gap less than a tenth of a second between these two. And Molina's starting to close in on these guys as well. He's half a second back.
Yeah, these guys keep fighting. Molina's going to be throwing his hat back into the ring here, so this could really get spicy here in another lap or two if they keep fighting like this.
Coming down the back straightaway, here he comes once again. Ben McDonald to the inside of Diego Yepez. Will he make the move stick this time? He's got a nose under him. He's got a car length alongside him. And now, Ben McDonald finally clears Diego Yepez for the race lead, coming through 3 and 4. This is what Ben McDonald was looking for this whole time. You got problems for Diego Yepez. An absolute tragedy in a sporting context for Diego Yepez, as his hopes of his first career win on the Brickyard 400 have just gone down the drain with a pit lane issue that has sent the 77 down the pit lane. And like I said, this is just heartbreaking for Diego Yepez. His hopes of a first career win in the 1-Up Superstar Series will have to wait for another week, because his hopes here have just been dashed by a late pit lane issue. I'm not sure what it is, but they're going to have a lot of debriefing to do after this one's over. As Molina and McDonald go for the lead, and Molina makes a dive on him.
I had to say something about something happened to Yepez. I just had to. I've got the Griffin curse today.
He's back on the track, and he will stay on the lead lap. But absolute tragedy for Diego Yepez, who dominated the first half of this race. He led 35 laps, but he's not going to be winning this race unless he pulls out some Herculean effort to slice through the field, which I don't think is going to happen because he didn't take tires, for one thing. But even if he did, he's got to pass 41 cars to make this happen. That is not going to happen with 18 laps to go.
No, it's not. But, I guarantee Molina is going to try to avenge his team owner here as he's trying everything he can to get to that 12. And, he's really closing now.
Yeah, Molina's trying to win this race for the second year in a row, and for the second different organization as well. McDonald's just trying to win this race for the first time and add his name to the list of Brickyard 400 winners in the series that right now, only Andres Molina has his name on right now. But McDonald and Molina have quite the gap on third place Devin Fair in the 51. Man, Diego Yepez's problems have just blown this race wide open for these two.
Yeah, it's looking pretty interesting here, although Molina went a little wide, but I'm sure he'll gather back up and try again unless he's just using up his stuff that quick, but I doubt it.
Yeah, he's got to have something left because Ben McDonald has been a powerhouse in this race from 18th to the lead in just 43 laps. And now we look back, how about Marc Davey? He shines in these big-ticket marquee races. He won the Pensacola 500. He won the 4th of July Special in D.C. He's on his way to the front here in Indianapolis. He started 13th. He's up to 4th now, working on Devin Fair for 3rd. He might not get the win this time, but man, you can't deny Marc Davey really shines on these marquee events.
Yeah, he's doing an awesome job here as he's still trying to find a way past Fair, but now it looks like maybe, just maybe, Molina has used up, unless he's trying to save it for one final power run toward the end here. But now it looks like for the time being, McDonald can breathe for a bit. So just cruise and just ride it home if that's how it's going to play out.
The gap now half a second between McDonald and Molina. Fair a further 2.5 seconds back. The whole top 10 separated by about 10 seconds. These two have made this a race of their own because unless Marc Davey can get past Devin Fair in a hurry, he could be a third force in this race. But unless that happens, it might be a two-car battle for the win between Ben McDonald looking for his 3rd career win and Andres Molina looking for his 2nd.
Yeah, we can't forget, though, there's still a potential for a caution. If it doesn't happen too late in the race, we could still have a a re-rack of the field, and that could really open things wide for the rest of the field to catch these two.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't put it past these guys. They've been racing so hard but so clean all race long. Maybe a little bumper-to-bumper contact here and there trying to make a pass, but this has been a very clean race for these guys. As Molina has closed right back onto the bumper of McDonald, will he make a move going in the 3?
Oh, he's not going for it just yet. I think he's just trying to size up the best place to get by the 12 here before he actually makes another move. But he gathered it back up, and he's going for it as we close in on 10 to go.
We have 15 laps to go now at the Brickyard 400. A quarter of this race still to run for Ben McDonald. He's got to hang on for dear life right here because Molina is right on him. And you can see now both Marc Davey and Nick Ortiz have gotten around Devin Fair for 3rd. So now Marc Davey can try and chase these guys down. He's only got about 14 laps to do it. It's possible. He'll have to gain a lot of time each lap, but it is possible.
Yeah, and I'm also kind of curious as to where the nearest lap car is, because that could play a factor.
It'll definitely be Yepez, but he's quite a ways up the road. And he's got more fuel than these guys, so he should be able to power away cleanly. But for McDonald and Molina, this is going to be a dogfight for the rest of this race between these two. McDonald looking for his 2nd win of the season, and Molina's looking to go back-to-back in the Brickyard 400.
Yeah, both of these guys are going for big things as Molina is peaking again, but not making any moves. And the gap is starting to shrink just a little bit there on the 01 of Davey.
Yeah, he's cleared Nick Ortiz, and now he's gained 0.4 of a second on the previous lap. So Davey's got a really good shot at this going in the turn 3. He's got to make up a lot of time in a short amount of laps, but if anyone can do it in a marquee race like this, in a crown jewel like this, it's got to be that 01.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, especially if these guys get to fighting here pretty soon with the 12 and the 7. If they get to fighting, that'll really help Davey close the gap.
He's made up another 10th as the 01, even when these guys have gotten spread out a little bit. So McDonald's just doing everything he can to keep Molina at arm's length. But they've got to keep an eye on that 01 because he is gaining time on these guys in quite a hurry. But they're closing in on 11 laps to go. Time is running out.
Yeah, it's nice to see this run out of the 12, and it looks like maybe Molina has. I don't know if he's going to make a final charge or not, but he's backed off quite a bit here.
Yeah, Molina might be saving his stuff for one last push at the end, but McDonald now coming to 11 laps to go in the Brickyard 400. Can McDonald get it done? Or will Molina mount a late charge? Or could even Marc Davey steal the show for his 3rd consecutive Crown Jewel win? 11 laps from now, we're going to find out. As McDonald powers off a turn 2 with a 0.6 of a second lead over Andres Molina. Remember now, Marc Davey is back there, but he did not gain any time on that last lap, so he's got to start hoofing it if he's going to try and catch these guys.
Yeah, he seems to have lost a couple of hundredths there instead of gaining anything. So maybe, just maybe, it's all about the fact that the 7 and the 12 are no longer fighting for position, at least at the moment. So, but, 3rd place, first, and 3rd wouldn't be bad for Davey in the Crown Jewel events, honestly.
Absolutely, but he knows he can win this race, and he's going for it. He gained 0.3 on that last lap. He's got to keep doing that. He's got to gain 3 to 5 tenths a lap if he's going to have hope of catching these guys, and I believe he can do it. But we have 9.5 laps to go from Indianapolis, and these two are getting closer and closer every passing lap. Molina making that late race charge. Could we see it happen?
I don't know. He's trying for it, and he's closed back up quite a bit, but it's going to be hard to tell here to see what the gap is as they come to the line. And it looks like he's fallen off again, so maybe he was trying for a charge and it just wasn't going to stick.
Gap up to 0.6 now as we have 9 laps to go from Indianapolis. Can McDonald hold on is the big question. He's come so close so many times, have these two to winning races this season. Molina's got a handful of top 5s. McDonald does have a win this season at Denver as Molina gets close once again, and he's going to try it in the 3. It's not quite going to work out this time.
He peaked, but he decided better of it because I'm pretty sure if he'd have tried, it's just my assessment, but he might have wrecked both of them there. But so could have been a potential smart move right there that could have saved them both from catastrophe.
And on that last lap, Marc Davey gained half a second on them.
Wow.
So this is going to be really close for these guys. We now have 8 laps to go from the Brickyard. And it's starting to become a 3-horse battle for the win. Chevrolet, Dodge, and Ford. That Ford is lurking back there, Marc Davey. He's got to keep gaining time if he's going to have any hope of winning this thing. But he's been doing that all run long, so you never know in this style of racing. But Molina and McDonald nose to tail once again. Will Molina make a move in the 4? Not quite.
He's trying, but I can also imagine both the spotters of both of those drivers are saying, "You guys keep fighting. The 01's going to steal this one from you." So they're trying to figure out a way to keep Davey from gaining, and he lost. Looks like he lost a little bit there this time.
Yeah, it might be too little too late for Marc Davey, but man, did he try. And that is certainly a valiant effort for that 01 group. But it looks like it's going to come down to McDonald and Molina at the closing stages of the Brickyard 400, coming to 6 laps to go next time they cross the line. And the gap, 0.3 of a second between these guys. It's going to be very close, and I cannot wait to see who wins out here.
Yeah, I think what Molina keeps trying to do here is make little runs and test to see how things look before making the final charge, because looks like he might be about the same this time. If we cross the line, we'll see. He lost about 400s, but that's not too much. If he can gain that and then some back, he might be able to mount another charge here.
And while they were doing that, the L1 gained another 0.2 on these guys, so this could still be a battle for Marc Davey yet, but he's got to make up a lot of time because we're coming to 5 laps to go next time they cross the line, and these guys don't show any signs of giving up just yet.
Oh, no way. Do you think they came this far just to say, all right, let the 01 by? No, they did not. This is for all the marbles on this one. This is a very big event, and whoa, Molina is really closing on him.
Coming down the front straight, Molina's making a huge charge on the 12 of McDonald. He swings it wide, trying to get a good run through 1. It's not going to happen. McDonald stays clear down the short chute into turn 2. Man, that gap was really close. And Marc Davey gained another 0.2 on these guys. This is going to be a real close battle as we're coming to 4 laps to go next time.
Yeah, it could very well be interesting to watch here because Davey's just sitting back there hoping these guys mess each other up, even if they don't wreck. Just enough. But the laps are ticking down, and it's going to be hard to see. He's probably going to be pounding that steering wheel at the checker flag here because I'm not sure if he has enough time.
Coming to 4 laps to go at the line now. We have 4 laps to go. The gap still 0.3 of a second. Marc Davey getting another 0.2 on that lap. If he keeps this up, he will be right on the bumper of these two when the checkered flag flies. But these two are already bumper to bumper in their battle for the win of the Brickyard 400. Molina trying to win it for the 2nd year in a row. McDonald trying to win it for the first time. These two barreling down to the back straightaway, heading into turn 3. You can see Davey in their rearview mirror, so you know he's gaining. But will it be enough? As we're coming to 3 laps to go.
As they come to the north short chute here, and Molina lost a little bit, but I think he's still got something left. I mean, we're coming to 3 to go. He's going to have something left here to try to salvage this for Dodge.
3 laps to go. The gap still 0.3 of a second. Marc Davey gained more time on that lap. This is going to be real close. And Nick Ortiz is coming as well. This could be a 4-car battle by the time this is all said and done. We have 2.5 laps of racing to go. I'm nearly out of breath watching this. Woo! as Molina powers off of turn 2, trying to close in on the 12. He's gaining, he's not gaining enough to make the pass into 3.
No, he's got at least one more charge in him, I think. And we'll just have to wait and see. Man, he's got to be worrying about that 0-1 slowly closing in there as he tries to find a way to get by the 12 ahead of him.
Oh boy, we are coming to 2 laps to go in the Brickyard 400 now. This is a gripping battle. Yeah, you saw that, didn't you? Molina ducking out, trying to get that lead, and now Marc Davey's got the gap down to 0.8 of a second. The 0-1 is there.
That was what I was talking about, was what Davey was doing. I didn't even catch what happened with Molina. He's trying to peek to the outside now. Is he trying to do strategy here? No, he just stepped back in line. But, man, the white flag is getting ready to wave, and Marc Davey, he can smell this wind right there in front of him.
Coming to the white flag this time, we got 3 cars, maybe 4 cars in contention to win this race on the final lap of this one. Ben Mcdonald and Andres Molina, nose to tail, coming to the white flag. It's in the air. We got 1 more lap to go. Molina's got 1 more chance. If he can't make this one work, and it doesn't look like he can, he's going to have 1 more chance going into turn 3.
Fans are on their feet here as they go down the go through turn 2 for the final time and onto the backstretch. This has got people nervous, especially Molina and McDonald fans, as they watch to see who's going to win it. And there's a nice little gap between the two, but maybe, just maybe, the 7 has a little bit left for him here.
He's going to have to make a big lunge into turn 4, and I don't see that happening. Coming through turn 4 for the final time, onto the front straight, the crowd on their feet. It's a group of 350,000 have gathered here today to see Ben Mcdonald as the winner of the 2022 Brickyard 400 in a dramatic late race battle. And you can see how close Marc Davey got to stealing second away from Andres Molina. Molina comes home second at the end. Marc Davey, a narrow third, but man, what a charge he gave at the end. Nick Ortiz, too, to come home fourth. Devin Fair rounds out the top 5. Cale Tescar Jr. will come home 6th in the end for Kings Motorsports, just ahead of Miles Mashburn in 7th. Sam Denota with his 2nd consecutive top 10 in 8th, ahead of Jake McMillen and Jared Polanski, who will round out the top 10 in this very gripping Brickyard 400, just ahead of Jeffrey Finguy. And, well, Diego Yepez, well, what can you say? He did everything he needed to do, but Lady Luck just bit him in the wrong way, and he will be the last driver to cross the line in 42nd place. He will get the laps led bonus. He will get the fastest lap bonus, but that'll mean nothing to him because his chances of a win were right in his grasp, but they were all gone too early.
You feel for Yepez there because runner-up at Portland looked like he could have easily had this thing in the bag here today. And like he said, Lady Luck was just like, nope, not today.
But he's got to look ahead to next week where anybody has a chance to win. We go to the place where it all started for the 1UP Superstar Series. We go back to Pensacola Super Speedway next week to close out the first half of the 1UP Superstar Series season. And what a first half we have had as Diego Yepez trundles down the pit lane here. What a race we had at Indianapolis, and I'm looking forward to the next one at Pensacola as well, to close out the first half of the season. And remember, anybody can win there. Could it be Yepez's time over there in the Florida sunshine? We'll find out in a few moments as Yepez pulls into his pits. So, from James Ellison and from myself as well, we say goodbye from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to Brickyard 400, and we offer congratulations to Ben Mcdonald, who scored the biggest win of his career, and we offer our sincerest condolences to Diego Yepez. That first win, it's coming one of these days. Could even come next week.